Welcome to the Activated Storytellers 35th podcast, March 8th, 2007.
This week's story is Tappin the Land Turtle, an African-American tale.
Hi, I'm Dennis.
And I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Zephyr.
And together we are...
the Activated Storytellers.
Yes, and we are coming to you from Alabama, where we just battled us. Well, we didn't battle. We hid from a storm this past week.
In a car wash, nonetheless.
Yes, we have a little story here for you.
I think the storm hid from us because it skirted all around us. It didn't want to tangle with us.
What happened is we were doing a show here in Alabama at a school, and then we found out they were closing the school at 1 o'clock. They were sending everybody home, and so it was pretty serious. They have never closed school here before. We were in Ozark, Alabama. So we said, well, storm coming. We have a house on wheels. We're going to run from it. We couldn't find anywhere to run. The storm came into the whole region. Any way we would have gone, we would have still been in it, and maybe even worse.
It ended up going everywhere except where we were, and we decided to stay put, which was actually a good decision in the long run.
Yeah, rather than being stuck out on the road in a motorhome and not being able to get away from the storm at all, we decided we'd just stay in Ozark and kind of stay right at the crossroads in town, so if we did see a twister coming, we could run, if at all possible.
There were actually two severe storm fronts that passed on either side of us within a few miles of us, so we were right in the middle like a sandwich.
At one point. What happens, the region was struck with the storms from about 1 o'clock, and we were on tornado watch and tornado warnings until about 4 a.m.
For those of you who have never been in one before, the difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning, a tornado watch means that the conditions are right for a tornado. A tornado could develop. A tornado warning means there is a tornado somewhere, and it's just a matter of where it goes.
Right. So at 1 o'clock they closed the school. It was about 3 o'clock we decided we'd hide out in the car wash so that the hail and winds couldn't damage the RV. And that was the storm that actually did hit Enterprise, the school in Enterprise. As many of you know, if you've been following the news, there were casualties there. And that was about 14 miles away from where we were hiding out.
Yeah, at the high school in Enterprise, they're about to celebrate the 50th anniversary of their football field, which is now completely gone.
Right, as our car windows, buildings, and many houses in the area. So that was about 14 miles from where we were hiding. And then later that evening, we were still on tornado watch, tornado warnings, or listening to the news. And we ended up being in the middle of two severe storms that went on either side of us, kind of a little sandwich. We got really lucky because one of those storms did take out the hospital in Georgia.
Yes, the only thing that happened in Ozark where we were is that the power went out for several hours, but we didn't really see any damage. And we could tell that the storm was bypassing us because we could see the cloud just a few miles away after it hit Enterprise and passed on, but we could tell that it was bypassing us. And we were listening to a radio station that really provided some excellent coverage. This is KMX, and the disc jockeys were working overtime. They were really on top of things. They helped us stay informed and studying our map to make sure that we were in no danger.
Yeah, those guys were phenomenal.
Yes, they were. So just lest anybody get the idea that you're safe in a car wash, please don't think that. No, we were not going to be safe in the car wash. If we did see a tornado coming, we were prepared to take shelter in the basement of a building. But it did help keep the RV from getting hail and wind damage.
Yeah, you're actually not safe anywhere in a vehicle in a tornado.
Or in a mobile home park.
Now, if you want to donate money with the recovery effort from this tornado, we'll give you a link to that on our podcast website. And they are doing some wonderful relief work here. We've been seeing lots of trucks being loaded up with water and other supplies. We've seen bloodmobiles out. They've been doing a really good job of helping the people who've been affected by this tragedy.
Yes, in fact, the day of the storm, there was a bloodmobile out at the Walmart shopping center, which was closed, but the bloodmobile was there, quick to action, excellent response rate here. Now, we kind of felt like a turtle in our car wash shell as we were hiding out there, so we decided that we would do a story this week about a turtle. This is Tappin the Land Turtle. Once upon a time, there were tree children and land children. And there was the land turtle, who called himself Tappin. He had 6 children, and they were all hungry, Everybody was hungry all over the land, for there was a famine. But the eagle and his children weren't hungry. Tappin could see the eagle flying across the sky and bringing back food to the eaglets in his nest. Where was the food coming from? There were no Walmarts back then. So Tappin said to him,
"Hold on there, Mr. Eagle. It being hard times and all, where do you get that food to feed your 3 young ones? I got 6 of my own. Show me where you shop."
I gotta fly all the way across the ocean to get this and that. What?
Oh, you give me some with wings like you got, and I bet I could fly, too.
You don't look to me like you have a very aerodynamic design, and I don't think you can keep up with me.
I knew a rabbit who said that once.
Well, okay, if you really want to try, we'll have liftoff as soon as the rooster crows in the morning.
But Tappin was very impatient. He didn't want to wait for any rooster. He was afraid Mr. Rooster might be on vacation or something. So, about 3 o'clock in the morning, Tappin crawls on over to Mr. Eagle's nest and...
Cock-a-doodle-doo! Cock-a-doodle-doo!
Boy, Mr. Rooster sounds like he has a cold today.
Rise and shine, Mr. Eagle.
You all packed and ready to go, Mr. Tappin?
I'm always packed. I carry my whole house with me. I'm like a walking RV. Now then, just give me 3 feathers for one wing and 3 feathers for the other wing, and I'll be set.
Easy for you to say. Ouch! 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 Ah. I hope you remember this if I ever need an extra claw or something.
So Tappin got his wings, and he and the eagle started to fly. Soon, Tappin dropped one of his feathers.
Oops. No big deal. I got 2 more on that side.
But not much longer, and 2 more feathers slipped out of his grasp.
Oh, no. I've lost all my feathers on the left side. Now I'm just a right-winged turtle. I'm way off balance. I'm going to crash.
So he started to fall, but the eagle swooped down and rescued him.
Woo! Thank you, Mr. Eagle. I owe you another one.
No problem. I need to work out, I guess.
But as they flew further, Tappin complained, and Mr. Eagle got tired of hearing him complain.
Pee-you! I don't know how much longer I can stay under your wing. It really smells foul under here.
All right, that does it. I can take the complaining. I can take the excess baggage. But if you start making foul puns, then I cry foul.
So the eagle dropped him, and he plummeted into the ocean with a splash. The noise woke up the king of the underwater world himself, who came out to see what all the hubbub was about.
Hey there. Who is that making all those waves?
Well, sorry to disturb you, Your Highness, but I'm Tappin the Turtle, and I flew for many, many miles looking for food for my family.
They have flying turtles these days, eh? Boy, spend a few thousand years under the surface and you miss some important developments.
Please, sir, we're having hard times up there, and my family is starving. Is there anything you can do to help us?
Well, considering how far you came to see me, I guess I can't send you away empty-handed. Here, take this dipper.
A dipper? We have dippers back home, and we never eat them.
But this is a magic dipper. All you have to do is say the words, Bacon cole, bacon cabe, bacon cahubo lebe lebe. And you know what will happen?
Everybody will think I'm nuts?
Besides that, food will come out of the dipper. More food than you could possibly eat.
Well, it sounds crazy, but what do I have to lose?
So Tappin crawled back home with the magic dipper on his back. Of course, without his wings, the return trip was a couple of years longer. But when he got back home, his wife and 6 children were still just as hungry. He put down the dipper and said,
Bacon cole, bacon cabe, bacon cauba lebe lebe.
And just like that, out popped a side of bacon, corn on the cob, mustard greens, grits, cornbread, and even pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie.
And Tappin and his family ate and ate until they were stuffed. And they hadn't been happier in years.
Well, the greens were a bit salty, but I guess I shouldn't complain.
And whenever they got hungry, Tappin just said the magic words again, and the dipper overflowed with food again. Well, sir, it ain't long, of course, before the eagle notices that this family of turtles that used to be starving is now getting so plump they're causing their shells to get warped and dented. So he comes around to ask why.
All right, Mr. Tappin. I know you're getting food from somewhere, but where? I didn't give you any more feathers to make wings with. Where are you finding all this food?
That's my little secret, Mr. Eagle. But maybe I'll let you in on it next time I need air transportation. In the meantime, pull up a rock to sit on and stay for dinner.
And that's the story of Tappin the Land Turtle.
And one version of the story goes on farther and has the king of the sea give him a cowhide that starts beating people, which of course is reminiscent of what the African Americans endured from their slave days. But we decided it would be better to end here with the gourd supplying what the turtle needs.
Yeah, kind of a fun story.
And this is an African-American story from this area where, of course, there were lots of plantations and slavery was very prevalent. Also, this is peanut country. Lots of peanuts were raised and still are raised around here. And in Dothan, Alabama, which we just came from and which we're still pretty close to, there is a monument to the peanut, a peanut statue. Where else can you see that? Also, there is a monument and a museum honoring Dr. George Washington Carver, an African-American scientist who came up with how many different products can be made from peanuts? Do you know?
No, but I'm a great admirer of Dr. George Washington Carver. He was an incredible guy. What? How many?
Should we tell them or should we make that a trivia question?
Well, I think we just did, so we're going to tell them the answer a little later then, right?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Well, how many products did Dr. Carver come up with that can be made from peanuts?
That's a tough question. That's going to take some research.
Yes, you get special bonus points if you get that one right.
And Zephyr's got a project that he's working on, something we're going to be adding to the website. You want to tell him a little about it?
Okay, probably have more about it next week, but I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm doing this week. As I'm sure many people have figured out by listening to this podcast, I am a big theme park / themed entertainment industry nut. And so I came up with the idea of building an activated story park in Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, which is going to be a complete theme park based around all of the different folktales. There's 5 or 6 sections of the park, each represents a different continent, and then there's some of the folktales from that continent. All of the attractions and rides are themed around those folktales.
And this is going to be something that we're going to make available on the website for people to download and expand upon, right?
Yeah, you can add your own rides, and I'll have some challenges for you.
So give us an example. What is like one of the rides or themes that you've got going here?
Well, one section that I've finished recently is the America section of the park, which has all of the American tall tales. It's got Paul Bunyan ride, and it's got possibly the biggest ride in that section. It's got Niagara Falls, which is based off of the Native American folktale of how Niagara Falls were created that we used to do. You remember that one?
Yes, I do. So it sounds like you got a project going. Any more?
Yeah, the Niagara Falls ride actually includes a 121-foot drop over the edge of the replica of Niagara Falls in a boat. It's an almost, if it were actually built in real life, it would be an almost life-size replica, so it's pretty big.
Wow. So be watching for that, Roller Coaster Tycoon fans. That will be coming up on the website in about another week or two.
Check our website for the answer to the trivia question. How many peanut products did George Washington Carver develop?
Well, we'd like to thank you for joining us this week. Next week, watch out for the leprechauns.
Faith and Begora, we'll see you next week.
The Activated Storytellers perform at schools and libraries nationwide. On stage, we use American Sign Language, physical comedy, imaginative props, and a giant, oversized book to bring the stories to life. For booking information, check our website at www.activated-storytellers.com, where you can also find out when the Activated Storytellers will be performing near you. Read a story or order one of our audio CDs. Until next time.